I'm an activist whose work is advocating and creating space for silenced and marginalized artists. My activism is rooted in a gift that I received when I was about 4 years old from my mother on Christmas morning. This gift was a set of watercolors, and the paints led me to directly supporting artists. So how do these paints lead to my arts activism? It was watching the way the water activated the colors and move across the paper that taught me the value of expressing myself and gave me voice. And that voice spoke boldly, saying, "This is who I am, and here is where I belong." In my work, I'm exposing the work of the silenced, specifically Black, non-white, and female artists, whether through curating exhibitions, organizing dinners, or building institutions to educate, advocate, and build community in order to have a broader awareness of the artistic and creative talents that live in all of our spaces. Artists and arts institutions depend on each other to shape our culture, which in turn helps us connect more deeply to each other. The inequities and the oppression of the silenced affect their ability to realize their craft. So what happens when these institutions that have the resources that artists do not silence the very people they say they support? How can we find ways to support the silenced in doing the deep humanistic work? There's a long history of activists like me who saw the value in validating a diversity of cultural experiences and showing what strength, love, and care looks like in non-white terms. An inspiration for me in my work is a native of North Florida, a Black woman who was a pioneer in the arts, Augusta Savage. Augusta Savage was born in 1892, and as a young woman, she moved to New York during the Great Migration to follow her dream of becoming an artist. After she completed her studies at Cooper Union, she applied for an opportunity to attend the Fontainebleau School of Arts in France and was accepted. Out of about 100 women, Augusta Savage was the only Black woman admitted. Unfortunately, this worked against her. See, once the selection committee learned that she was Black, they took away her scholarship. What they said was the Southern white women were not expected to share ship accommodations with a Black woman. This incident made major news in the art world and set Savage up for her legacy in art education and building communities. She opened up her home and art studio to Black residents in Harlem, teaching anyone who wanted to make art for free. Her community space became an important fixture in Harlem. And because of her experience with the Fontainebleau, Savage made it a point to serve as a mentor to Black artists and advocated for economic support for them. She was able to turn her personal community space into a national model, which was the Harlem Community Art Center. Today, we actually continue to feel her legacy through the arts. So who are the Augusta Savages in your community? Why must the silenced be seen? It's really simple. It's a sense of belonging. See, artists make the invisible visible for us, which are the lives and experiences of every member of our society. How can you create a space for an artist of color or other silenced artists? I posit that expand your daily habits to include artists. So purchase an artwork from a person of color and women who are not traditional creatives in your community. Seek out people in your network and ask them, who are the artists that they like? Expand your network to include people of color, different languages, and different life experiences. Or you could host a breaking bread dinner. See, this is one of my favorite things to do at my organization. I gather a cross-section of my community, artists, non-artists, and creatives, to share a meal and get to know each other. Sharing a meal is an equalizer. And let me repeat that. Sharing a meal is the equalizer in the room. We spend the evening talking about our life experiences, something as simple as what did we dream about when we were 15 years old, to the impact of the current political climate in our community, or the ways in which we as individuals have experienced different cultures. See, the magic that happens at breaking bread are the connections that grow past that evening. When people meet at breaking bread for the first time, they end up developing very impactful relationships with each other. One of the most important outcomes of this gathering is the opportunity to witness different ways of thinking and being, and learning from those in your community who create work and experiences that are outside of yourself. I am Augusta Savage. You too can be Augusta Savage. Thank you.